Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you why, or show you my categories in my question bank and show you and then explain why I chose to do them that way. There is no right or wrong way, I suppose. This is the way that suited me, but I hope by the end of this video that the ideas will be in your head to be able to go create categories in your question bank. It is well and truly worth doing it before you start writing your questions actually. But if you've already written your questions, you can always move your questions around into different categories, so it's neither here nor there really. If I scroll down the bottom of this particular course, click on questions, it will show me my questions bank. Now, if I look at my list, this is actually pretty extensive. It's pretty much all the questions we would ask a stage 1 apprentice in carpentry throughout the course of the year as their summative exams, summative test. And you can see it's broken up. It looks a bit messy, but realistically the top line where it says carpentry tools and equipment is a category. It has 8 questions in it. Those 8 questions are generic questions. The next category down is hand tools. It's a subcategory of carpentry tools and equipment. It has 13 questions. And another subcategory of carpentry tools and equipment is power tools. The reason that I laid it out like this was it made it easier for me to create quizzes. So I could come in and what it also does, is it allows me to randomize the quiz very simply. If all those questions, was it 22 questions on hand tools and power tools, were lumped in together with carpentry tools and equipment in one big bucket, it would be very hard for me to, other than going in and pinpointing exactly which questions I wanted, it would be hard for me to give a random quiz. Now, as it sits, I can say I want 4 random questions, generic random questions on carpentry tool and equipment. I want, I don't know, let's say 8 hand tools, random questions on hand tools, and let's say 3 random questions on power tools, and that will give me a random quiz. Every student has a different question list. Now without categories it's a bit harder to do, so if I explain a bit more. On OHS there's 18 generic questions and there is 5 on fire prevention, which is a subcategory. The reason for the 5 on fire prevention is that they are critical. Every student has to ask them, so it's easy for me to grab those 5 questions, throw them in, and then I might potentially say I need 10 random questions out of the generic OHS questions. If the fire prevention wasn't a subcategory, I would have to go and search through the list for all the fire prevention questions, and it just takes a bit more time. I would have to select each of those 5 and put them into the quiz manually. All right. And finally, if we go down a little bit further under measurements and calculations, we can see area. There's 1 generic area, there's 4 on circles, there's 4 on complex shapes, 4 on squares and rectangles, and 3 on squares and rectangles, and 3 on triangles. Again, very easy now to go. This quiz that I'm writing on maths, it might be a revision one. I want 1 random selection from circles, 1 from the complex, 2 from the squares and rectangles, and 1 from triangle. Question done, finished. And it is truly random because there are 4 questions in there. Alright, so I hope that helps you think a bit about laying out your categories. It is important. It does make your life easy in the long run, and it just allows you to see exactly what you've got there.